August 31st, 2023, Buckingham Palace, 2:17 a.m. The sound of footsteps echoed through the royal collection vault as Queen Consort Camilla Parker Bowles crept through the darkness, clutching a list of Diana's jewelry that she believed should rightfully be hers. 26 years to the day after Diana's death, Camilla had finally decided to take what she felt Charles had been too weak to give her: the Spencer tiara, Diana's sapphire parure, and most importantly, the backup engagement rings that had been stored away since 19. What Camilla didn't know was that Catherine, Princess of Wales, had been expecting this moment for months and was already waiting in the shadows. The confrontation that followed would expose decades of jealous obsession and prove that some women will stop at nothing to erase their rivals, even from beyond the grave. But the most shocking part wasn't Camilla's attempted theft. It was what Catherine discovered about the jewelry that would change royal history forever. The planning. July 2023, Camilla's growing obsession. Camilla's fixation on Diana's jewelry had been building for years, but it reached dangerous levels after Charles's coronation, when she realized that Catherine's natural elegance made her own borrowed pieces look gaudy by comparison. Why does Catherine get to wear Diana's earrings while I'm stuck with these ancient brooches? Camilla complained to her dresser, Angela McManus, during a fitting session at Clarence House. "Ma'am, those are historically significant pieces from Queen Mary's collection. I don't care about Queen Mary. I care about looking like a proper queen consort, not like Charles's elderly aunt." Camilla had become increasingly bitter watching Catherine wear pieces from Diana's collection with such grace and natural beauty. Every public appearance where Catherine sparkled with Diana's jewelry felt like a personal insult to Camilla. Those pieces were meant for a queen consort, she told herself. Diana never got to be queen, so why should her jewelry be off limits to the woman who actually achieved that role? The tipping point came when Catherine wore Diana's lover's knot tiara to a state banquet and received universal praise for her elegance. "She looks like a real princess," one newspaper gushed. "Natural royal grace." Camilla threw the newspaper across her sitting room. "I am the actual queen, not her." That night, she began researching exactly which pieces from Diana's collection were stored in the royal collection vault and which were in Catherine's personal possession. Don't miss this shocking revelation: how Camilla got access to the vault. The inside job. August 2023. Camilla's corrupt alliance. Camilla's plan required inside help, which she found in Marcus Whitley, a recently promoted royal collection curator who was struggling with gambling debts. "Marcus," Camilla said during a seemingly routine tour of the collection facilities, "I've been thinking about updating the Queen Consort's jewelry rotation. Some pieces haven't been worn in years." "Of course, Your Majesty. Which pieces were you considering?" Camilla pulled out a carefully prepared list. "These items from the Spencer collection. They've been sitting unused since Diana's death. Surely it's time they were worn again by someone who can properly represent their significance." Marcus looked uncomfortable. "Ma'am, those pieces are held in trust for Prince William and his heirs. They're not technically part of the crown jewels available for royal use, but I am the Queen Consort. Surely I have access to all royal jewelry for state occasions." "Well, technically, access would require approval from Prince William as Diana's heir." Camilla's expression hardened. "Marcus, do you enjoy your position here?" "Yes, ma'am, very much." "Then I suggest you find a way to make this work. I'm not asking for permanent ownership, just access for important occasions. Surely that can be arranged quietly." Marcus understood the threat. Camilla was offering him a choice: help her access Diana's jewelry, or find himself unemployed and unable to pay his mounting debts. You won't believe what Camilla planned to do with the stolen jewelry. The heist plan. August 30th, 2023, the night before. Camilla's plan was more ambitious than simple theft. She intended to have several of Diana's pieces accidentally photographed on her during upcoming state functions, creating a fait accompli that would force William and Catherine to accept her wearing Diana's jewelry. "Once the pieces are photographed on me at official events," she explained to Marcus during their final planning meeting, "it will be impossible to take them back without creating a public scandal. The palace will have to let me keep wearing them." Marcus had provided Camilla with detailed floor plans of the vault, security schedules, and most importantly, a duplicate keycard that would give her after-hours access. "Security does their rounds at 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. You'll have a 2-hour window." Camilla had chosen August 31st deliberately, the anniversary of Diana's death. In her twisted logic, it seemed poetic that on the day Diana died, Camilla would finally claim the jewelry that should have been hers from the beginning. Diana had her moment, Camilla told herself. Now it's time for the jewelry to serve a living queen. But Camilla had made a critical error in her planning. She had underestimated Catherine's intelligence network within the palace. The trap. Catherine's private secretary, Hannah Cockburn, had been monitoring unusual activity around the royal collection for weeks after receiving a tip from a concerned staff member about Marcus Whitley's suspicious questions regarding Diana's jewelry. "Ma'am," Hannah reported to Catherine during a private meeting at Kensington Palace, "we believe someone may be planning to access Princess Diana's jewelry collection without authorization." Catherine's expression remained calm, but her eyes flashed with protective anger. "What kind of access?" "Theft, ma'am. We have evidence that someone has been studying vault layouts, security schedules, and has obtained duplicate access cards. Do we know who?" Hannah hesitated. "We believe it's the Queen Consort, ma'am." Catherine felt a surge of rage that she carefully controlled. "Of course it is. How do we stop her?" "We could alert palace security." "No," Catherine said firmly. "If we involve security before she acts, she'll deny everything and try again later. We need to catch her in the act so there's no possibility of denial or cover-up." Catherine's plan was elegant in its simplicity. Let Camilla attempt the theft, document everything, then use the evidence to ensure she never tried such a stunt again. "I'll be waiting for her," Catherine told Hannah, "and this time there will be consequences. Don't miss this explosive moment." When Catherine confronted the thief, the confrontation, August 31st, 2023, 2:17 a.m., the moment of truth, Camilla crept through the royal collection vault like a common burglar, her heart pounding with excitement and fear. She had never imagined herself capable of such behavior, but her obsession with Diana's jewelry had consumed all rational thought. The vault was exactly as Marcus had described, rows of climate-controlled cases containing centuries of royal treasures. But Camilla had eyes only for case 47D, Diana's personal jewelry collection. Using Marcus's stolen access codes, Camilla opened the case and gasped at the treasures within. The Spencer tiara that Diana had worn at her wedding, the sapphire parure that had made her look like a fairy tale princess, the pearl choker that had been photographed 1,000 times. "Finally," Camilla whispered, reaching for the Spencer tiara. "Finally, they're mine. I wouldn't touch that if I were you." Camilla spun around to find Catherine standing in the doorway, perfectly dressed despite the early hour, her expression a mixture of disgust and cold fury. "Catherine, what are you doing here? Stopping you from stealing my mother-in-law's jewelry. The better question is, what are you doing here at 2 a.m., going through Diana's personal effects like a common thief?" Camilla's face flushed with embarrassment and defiance. "I'm not stealing anything. I'm the Queen Consort. These pieces should be available for my use. Those pieces belong to William as Diana's heir. They're not crown jewels, they're personal property. And you're attempting to steal them." Catherine stepped closer, and Camilla could see the protective fury in her eyes. "Put down the tiara, Camilla. Now." You're not ready for what Catherine revealed next, the devastating discovery. As Camilla reluctantly placed the Spencer tiara back in its case, Catherine delivered a revelation that shattered the Queen Consort's justification for her attempted theft. "Before you try to rationalize this pathetic attempt at grave robbing," Catherine said coldly, "you should know that we've been monitoring your activity for weeks. We know about Marcus Whitley. We know about the duplicate keys. We have security footage of this entire conversation." Camilla went pale. "You were expecting me? We've been expecting this for years. Did you really think your jealousy of Diana's legacy was a secret? Your obsession with her jewelry has been obvious to everyone except you." Catherine walked to another case and opened it, revealing additional pieces that made Camilla gasp with recognition. "But here's what you didn't know, Camilla. Diana left specific instructions about her jewelry. Not just who should inherit what, but who should never, under any circumstances, be allowed to wear her pieces." Catherine pulled out a sealed envelope, marked Diana's final wishes, jewelry distribution. "Would you like me to read the relevant section?" "Under no circumstances should Camilla Parker Bowles ever be permitted to wear any item from my personal collection. She has done enough damage to my memory while I was alive. She will not profit from my death." Camilla felt like she'd been slapped. Even from beyond the grave, Diana was still defeating her. That's not legally binding," Camilla stammered. "Actually, it is. Diana's jewelry was her personal property, left to William with specific restrictions. Those restrictions are legally enforceable. You attempting to steal these pieces isn't just theft. It's a direct violation of a legal will." Catherine's final blow was designed to crush Camilla's spirit completely. But the most pathetic part of this entire situation isn't your attempted theft, Camilla. It's your desperation. You're 76 years old. You're the Queen Consort of England. You have access to some of the world's most spectacular jewelry, and you're skulking around in the dark, trying to steal pieces from a dead woman, because you're so insecure about your own legitimacy. Camilla began crying, tears of humiliation, rage, and defeated obsession. Diana's been dead for 26 years, Catherine continued relentlessly, and you're still so threatened by her memory that you've turned into a common thief. How does it feel to know that even death couldn't make Diana less powerful than you? I wanted to be worthy of the title, Camilla whispered through her tears. You can't steal worthiness, Camilla. Diana earned the people's love through service and sacrifice. You've spent decades trying to purchase respect through manipulation, and now theft. The difference couldn't be clearer. Catherine moved to close the jewelry case, her actions deliberate and final. You will never touch Diana's jewelry. You will never wear her pieces, and if you ever attempt something like this again, I will ensure the entire world knows exactly what kind of woman sits beside my father-in-law. The aftermath. The security footage of Camilla's attempted theft became the most closely guarded secret in the royal household. Catherine chose not to release it publicly, but made sure key palace officials knew exactly what had happened. Marcus Whitley was quietly dismissed, and his gambling debts mysteriously paid off in exchange for his permanent silence about royal collection security. Camilla was forced to sign a legal document acknowledging Diana's jewelry restrictions and agreeing never to attempt accessing the pieces again. Most humiliatingly, Catherine arranged for Diana's jewelry to be moved to a more secure location with access codes known only to her and William. If you want to ensure something is protected from theft, Catherine told William when explaining the new security measures, you make sure the thief can never find it again. Camilla's midnight theft attempt revealed the depths of her obsession with Diana and her complete inability to accept that some aspects of royal legacy would forever be beyond her reach. Catherine's handling of the situation proved that she was not just Diana's successor in grace and popularity, but also in fierce protection of what mattered most. The confrontation established several important truths. Rothwell's Diana's memory was more powerful than Camilla's position. Catherine would never allow Diana's legacy to be diminished. Some jewelry tells a story that can't be stolen or transferred. Desperation makes even queens into common thieves. Most importantly, it proved that 26 years after Diana's death, Camilla was still losing the battle for royal legitimacy. Some women earn their jewels through love and service. Others try to steal them through jealousy and greed. The difference between these approaches explains why one woman became a beloved people's princess, while the other became a midnight thief in her own palace. Diana's jewelry remained exactly where it belonged, protected by those who loved her and inherited her values, far from the grasping hands of those who had spent decades trying to erase her memory.